If you want to truly understand Korea, there's one word you absolutely have to know: Jeong. Jeong isn't just a simple emotion. It's the invisible force that deeply connects people in Korean culture. I've tried to translate it into English, but honestly, there's just no perfect word for it. So, what exactly is Jeong? This untranslatable emotion? Hi everyone, I'm Tae from Annyeong Academy, where we explore Korean language and culture together. In today's video, we are going to talk about what Jeong really means and why it plays such a big role in the daily life and relationships of Korean people. In Korea, if you don't understand Jeong, it's almost like you're not truly Korean. So then, what exactly is Jeong? Are you ready to dive deeper into Korea? Then let's get started. Part 1. What is Jeong? Jeong goes beyond just emotions. It's a warm bond that builds naturally over time as people spend time together. You can feel Jeong with family, friends, neighbors, and even with someone you just met through small acts of kindness or care. The French writer Luc Glazio once said that Jeong is such a subtle and special feeling that it's nearly impossible to translate into English. Jeong is truly a uniquely Korean feeling. You don't really find the same thing in other cultures. Of course, people all over the world can feel love or attachment, but Jeong in Korea has been recognized by many chocolates as a cultural trait that's very unique. You could say it's a type of love, and it includes feelings like affection, sympathy, compassion, and attachment. It's an emotional and psychological bond. It often comes with altruism, the kind of giving that expects nothing in return, whether material or emotional. But Jeong can be tricky too, at a healthy level. It's selfless love, but if it goes too far, it can feel intrusive or even be connected to corruption. Usually, Jeong is something you feel toward people, but it can also apply to objects. For example, think of the sadness you feel when you have to get rid of an old car that you loved and took care of for many years. That's emotional attachment. That's Jeong too. Psychologically, Jeong isn't just about the other person, but about the relationship between you and that person. Like, if A and B spent 10 years bickering but staying close, and then B disappears, or might feel sad or empty. That's what Korean would call bitter Jeong. It's not necessarily about missing B as a person, but missing that dynamic, that relationship. Jeong is a concept that's hard to fully define even in Korea. And in English, any translation will always miss something. It's just really hard to convey that unique Korean nuance. Some people might think Jeong is like China's Guanxi, but it's actually quite different. Jeong doesn't expect returns, it's not translational. Let's say a couple argues a lot but doesn't break up because of the Jeong they have built over time. If you try to say they are staying together because of Guanxi, it doesn't make sense. That word means something else entirely. Korean, even though the Chinese Korean and Japanese languages all use the same Chinese character for Jeong. The meanings are quite different. Part 2. The origins and history of Jeong. Korean society has always been community-based. During farming season, whole villages would come together to help each other. When someone was in trouble, neighbors would naturally lend a hand. Through this kind of communal living, Jeong developed and became central to the Korean emotional experience. It's even considered a defining trait of the Korean personality. We'll often hear phrases like, "He's such a warm person. I got attached to them. I lost affection." Bitter Jeong, sweet Jeong, no Jeong is part of daily language and even used to describe people's personalities. Part 3. Jeong in daily life. You can feel Jeong all over daily life in Korea. First, there's the culture of sharing food. Restaurant owners often give you extra side dishes. Neighbors share homemade food with each other. Second, we can't skip kimjang, the kimchi making tradition. During late fall or early winter, neighbors and family gather to make huge amounts of kimchi together. Then they divide it and share it. This tradition is one of the most beautiful expressions of Jeong in Korean life. Third, helping others. When someone collapses in the street, Koreans often call the police or try to help, even if they are strangers. There was even a case where bus passengers worked together to save someone who had fainted. This invisible sense of connection and kindness, that's also Jeong. Jeong is in all the little things we do every day. Part 4. When Jeong gets complicated. But Jeong isn't always sweet and warm. There's also bitter Jeong, like when you spend a long time with someone difficult, like a boss or a senior, and even though it was tough, you still miss them in a calm-willed way later. Sometimes Jeong can feel overwhelming, like when people insist on giving you too much food or ask really personal questions. They don't mean to be rude. They are just showing Jeong. Then there's the inability to say no. Because of Jeong, people sometimes accept uncomfortable requests, which can blur the line between kindness and pressure. Jeong is beautiful, but it can definitely be complicated. Today we talked about Jeong, a uniquely Korean emotion. Jeong shows the warmth of Korean culture, but it also highlights how complex human feelings can be. Have you ever experienced Jeong? Maybe you didn't even realize it. If you have a story, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment below. In the next video, I will bring you more interesting stories about Korean culture. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious, stay warm-hearted, and I will see you again soon. 안녕!